Anytime you have a pothole, a big pothole on a major highway, it's going to have an issue because every vehicle on approach, because they're scared of damaging the vehicles, they will have to slow down. And for every half a second that the vehicle slows down at a point of conflict, it tails back to us, and in a measure of 10 minutes, you can have a queue length of up to 200 meters, depending on what time of day, whether it's morning peak or evening peak. From the motorist point of view, this is where they come in. First of all, I'll start with the truck owners or the truck users. Every single day in Lagos Metropolis, every single day, nothing less than 15 articulated vehicles are broken down on the highway. And these are not side roads. These are major highways that everybody want to pass. And unfortunately, we don't have that many major highways, so everyone is sort of confined into the major ones: Eko Bridge, Kata Bridge, Third Mainland Bridge, Lekki Expressway, Apapa Oshodi Expressway, Agege Motor Road, that kind of thing, about Macaulay. So if any articulated, a big truck falls down and it skews and takes up 2 lanes, we have a major problem. It's even bigger if it has load that have not spilled onto the road. So by the time the queue line starts, before the emergency vehicles come and clear it, sometimes you can't even move it because the back wheel is gone, everything has happened. It's even worse for us if it's now inflammable liquid, like petrol, right? So you now have to evacuate and cordon off and those sorts of things. That can cause a problem. And we're talking about the third segment, which is now the people, private car ownerships and passengers on the road. So I'll start with car owners. Nigerian blood, I beg to differ. It's a choice thing. We choose to behave the way we behave because we think we are, or we can get away with it most of the time. And the second aspect of that particular third segment are the passengers. And I know you're going to ask a question relating to that. Every passenger walks out of their front door, from their bedroom, from their bathroom. They come out of the house unaided. They don't have walking sticks. They don't have crutches. They walk to the main road. When they get to the main road, for them to walk another 15-20 meters away from the junction to wait for the bus becomes a major problem for them. So it's as if like there's a self-righteousness thing going on. Like, well, it's my money, I'm waiting for the bus, so wherever I stop, the bus will come and meet me there. And that is why you find a whole lot of buses hanging out at the park, because they want the passengers, right?
And they will go where they are.
And they will go where they are. And then the bus drivers do not have any kind of control that will scare them so much, because there's just so many. They hide under the umbrella of union, hide under the umbrella of connection with politicians, hide under the umbrella of anything. In fact, they hide under the umbrella of begging. And they will stop at the junction to pick up these passengers that are waiting for them there. All right? Because if you think about it, if the passenger is not there, the bus would not have any reason to want to stop there. Except if, from his own thinking, which is a bit abnormal, it's like he's waiting at the intersection at the junction, waiting for the passenger that's about to leave their homes to come to that junction. And then you now have the fourth one, which is now agencies like ours, enforcement officers. Now, let's just take a typical junction where you have downfall drivers that will have about 6. Let's just say 6 for argument's sake. So for you to control 6 downfall drivers to move on, not just stay there and waiting for passengers that have not come out of their beds, right? You need at least 3 to each bus. Because why? The bus driver does not have any intention of listening. The only thing that is going to make him change his attitude is when you threaten or you make a move to arrest him. And to arrest a downfall driver, for him not to run you over, you need 3 officers to really deal with him. Number 1, in terms of pulling them out of the vehicle, because he's just going to kill you anyway. And 1 to just be on the other side to deal with the conductor. Because they work in twos. So the conductor and the driver becomes a force. So if 2 Lastma officers are just working, if they're more powerful than you, and I have female officers, if they've been drinking and you've not been drinking, and they use that to overpower you, then you're not getting anything. So you need a minimum of 3. So 6 buses, 3 officers remains. I need 18 officers just to deal with 1 bus stop. Now tell me please, how many bus stops do I have along the Lekki Express corridor alone? And how many officers would I put there to be able to deal with this kind of menace that causes traffic situations every single day? That is the challenge that we have in front of us.
Okay, so I like the fact that you have broken it all down, and I know that we as a people, we also have responsibility as well to help reduce the traffic in Lagos. That I absolutely agree to, because I witness it every day and I talk about it on air every day. Go to the bus stop and wait for your bus to come meet you there, because if you are not there, the buses will not stop. Now, let's go to the officials. Now, before we came on air, we were having that conversation. There's sometimes, especially at Jakonde and some other bus stops like that, where there's a traffic light, buses stop there to pick up passengers. We have officials there. And it's gotten to a point where people feel like the bus drivers are above the law and they can do whatever it is they want to do. They will not be caught. They will stop at the traffic light. When the light turns green, they're still there picking up passengers, already causing a lot of traffic, and you have officials there not doing anything.
Well, it's not different from what I tried to explain to you earlier on. Now, a bus is coming on the road, is approaching the traffic signalization.
Yes.
All right? Now, if passengers were not stationary waiting for the bus at the traffic lights, nothing would happen, number one.
True.
The second set of passengers are the ones that they have no patience to go to the bus stop and walk back towards the road that they want to go to. So when the lights stop the bus, they're like, oh, Jembole, I want to come out of the bus, I want to come out of the bus. All right? And the stress sometimes is so much that the conductor and the bus driver are not really thinking like, okay, you know what, I'm stuck in the traffic light is on red. It's going to take this woman, maybe 5 seconds to come out by their own unmeasured calculation.
Yes.
But the woman is seated on the first seat near the window, which means she now has to squeeze through about 6 passengers before she can come out of the bus.
Yes.
So the crazy calculation of 5 seconds is never going to work. The lights have changed green. All right? The woman is already halfway out of the bus. One leg is already out of the bus. What should the bus driver do? Is he going to move and kill the woman? Or is he just going to wait and let her come out of the bus because they already started the move? And so these things happen. You see, there's a collaboration, unhealthy collaboration between passengers and the bus operators. And they miscalculate. They do not understand the effect of delaying 1 second of green light for moving traffic. They only see their own action as normal. And if you ask them, and you try to educate them, they just say, no, I was just trying to help this woman. She's an old woman. Those are the kind of sentimental nonsense that you hear from them. And guess what? The passengers that are supposed to even have a better understanding of what is going on can never be on the side of enforcement officers. They see us as just a menace, as just that the reason why we apprehend buses is because we want to extort money from them. But meanwhile, you now have the begging syndrome. So let's just say officers arrest the vehicle. All right? Now the bus driver is going to come out, is going to prostrate immediately in the middle of the road. The conductor is going to do the same. And then you now have a 65-year-old woman come out of the bus and say, look at my age, please, I'm begging. Why? Because they've taken money off her. So, and she knows when that bus is apprehended and the bus driver is arrested, right, she's not going to get her money back and she's going to have to wait. She might have been waiting for over 40 minutes to even get that bus, right? She's going to have to wait at a non-bus stop or wherever it is that the bus is being apprehended. She's going to have to wait, God knows for how long, to get transportation from that point. And that is always their fear. So they all end up begging. They know the driver has done wrong. They know what's going on is not right, but they will keep on begging. So the officers would have to listen to all this begging. So on Monday, he accepts begging. On Tuesday, he says no, he's a bad person. They curse him. They swear on him. On Wednesday, he does the same thing. So after a while, when the sun has beaten your head, when the smoke and the dust has affected you as a person, you begin to just look at, what can I do? And you feel helpless. Not because you don't want to do it, but because you just know when you start, you probably won't get the end result.
Okay, so I said before that the few minutes that we have is not enough.
No.
We're probably going to have to do this again sometime soon. It's not enough to cover all the questions that we have. I'm looking at questions right now and we have a lot to cover. So what exactly can be done to ensure that passengers go to the bus stop? What exactly can we do? Because it's not getting any better. It's getting worse.
I'll give you an example. When the Oworoshoki, if you know the Oworoshoki end of the Third Mainland Bridge, because we found out that a whole lot of traffic was being held up on Third Mainland Bridge because of this kind of illegal activities at Oworoshoki.
Stopping to pick passengers.
The former government built a lay-by, a big lay-by for vehicles to go in. All right, big lay-by, 4 different lanes for different categories of transportation. You have the BRT bus, you have the normal cars, you have the yellow buses, and then you have the maybe interstate. It's what makes that. And why is that? Because most of us, I won't say most, some of us are very selfish. When I get to a bus stop and I see a woman with 2 children, she's waiting at the bus stop in a sane environment, she's waiting for the bus. I see a pregnant woman, I see an elderly man, and then I come as a young man, a 35-year-old, and I'm thinking, hello, I'm not waiting for these people. So I begin to stand on the outside. Because why? I want to chance those people that I met at the bus stop. So when I'm 35 years old and I stand there, so another 25-year-old comes in and he stays in front of me. And then it begins to spill over until they go onto the road. Meanwhile, the inside of the bus stop, right,
is empty.
Is completely empty. So when the cars and the buses now come, before they can even get a chance, they're now finding a way to maneuver between these passengers because to avoid them.
Yes.
And in avoiding them, they slow down. Then people start to come out because now the passengers in the bus thinking, well, we've reached our bus stop, so I must well come out. So they start coming out. So the same thing, the driver cannot move because he's going to injure someone. As the passenger is coming out, the 25-year-old and the 35-year-old that have chanced the female people inside the bus stop are now rushing to get inside the bus because that was their main aim, selfish aim.
A lot of traffic, the traffic in Lagos basically is man-made.
Yes.
Is man-made.
Completely.
That can actually be avoidable.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go to the roles and responsibility of Lastma,
yes,
which a lot of people have questions about. Now, we have seen, thanks to social media, there are a lot of things that he puts out. Nothing is hidden anymore. It feels like all the agencies are under a microscope. Now, there are videos that we see Lastma officials forcing their way into cars and being on speeding cars. There was a video I saw on social media, and he was hanging. He was on the bonnet. He was on the car holding on to it.
That was a policeman.
While it was moving. No, there was another one of a Lastma official. Oh, there are so many videos. There was another one of a Lastma official.
All right.
And officials, you know, illegally entering the cars of people. Is that part of what?
Yes. The answer is yes. It's just that it's not yes to the illegal word.
Okay.
All right. There's nothing illegal about it. This is what happens. Ideally, as a motorist, when you're stopped for a reason. Your responsibility as a civil person is to hear out what you might have done. It is possible that you're ignorant about what you've done. It's possible that it's an error. It's possible that you didn't mean to do it. But the point is, hear the officer out. Right? So this is a typical person who does not want to respect a uniformed officer on the road. So the Lastma officer tells you to please park on the side. And then you deliberately stay in the middle of the road, obstructing traffic behind, trying to get empathy and sympathy from other motorists, or to even get them to get angry enough, right, for them to blip their horns, so that the Lastma person will be so forced to tell Kuku just be going. Meanwhile, you've offended. So the first thing you're supposed to do is to stop. So now when this kind of offender has not stopped, then I told you about one officer cannot do the apprehension because of this behavior. So what would happen now? You now tell the offending driver, can you please step out of the vehicle because I want to have a word with you. The reason why you have to say that is because as you're talking to him, if you're just talking to him or her behind the steering wheel, either they'll be rude to you and wind up the window, they won't even bother to talk to you, and then they'll drive off, or they'll wind down. Either way, they are planning to zoom off. And if you're not careful and you're standing in front of a vehicle to stop them from doing that, they're going to run you over, or they're going to force it. This even happened to me on Saturday morning. It did. Someone brushed my car. I came out, I took the picture of the vehicle, like, hold on, so I'm expecting you to step out now, come and see the damage. He looked at me, he had a passenger, looked at me. As soon as the lights changed, he just zoomed off like, if I did not move, it would have crushed me.
Wow.
And that is exactly what happens every single day. So that is the first level. The second level, why you would say so many videos are coming out, they're forcing themselves into the vehicle, is that ideally, okay, you know what, you've offended, I need to arrest this vehicle, let's go to the yard where you can be booked properly. Drive your car, because you can have security, you can have valuables, you can have all sorts of different things. So drive your car, no big deal. In fact, by you driving your car, it stops me from having to call a tow truck, which will be additional charge, and even delay in getting the truck to that point. But the driver now, historically, what he'll do, because it's the one driving, or it could even have the owner at the back, they will now drive to their estate, drive to an area where they have friends, drive to a garage where they have connection there, and then the last officer who was going with him will get beaten seriously. That's if they don't take you to the Third Mainland Bridge and throw you into the lagoon. There are people that are that bad. So historically, it does not make any safety sense to sit on the passenger car and say, okay, be driving. So the safest mode, not even the safest, the safe mode at that moment is for you to take charge of the car and drive it to the yard.
Okay.
That is why they force them to leave the car. The argument and the struggle comes when you instruct the driver to step out and they refuse. That's when the last officer gets into the passenger car to take the key
from the driver.
From the driver. And then scuffles, all sorts of different things come up. and then obviously social media, because most people they're not ready for action, so it's not like you're videoing the pre-issue. It is now the event that is not can be sensationalized, is the one that is captured. I mean, how did the Lastma officer get on top of a car? Does he not have a home? Does he not have a wife and children? Why would he get on top of a car? Something happened.
All right. I think we're going to take 1 or 2 calls before we wrap things up because we're completely out of time. If you have questions, please let me civil with your questions, okay? If you have questions to ask our guest today, the General Manager of Lastma, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, all you have to do is call the number 0700 923 923 923. Again, 0700 923 923 923. We have a window to take at least 1 or 2 calls.